Wonder if my breath stinks. Maybe my armpits? Oh no. Does this shirt make me look muscular? Damn, am I going bald? Ugh. T-shirt? Numb my nose? Ah.
It's Nick D here, and we're back with Performance Psych for Life. Now, today's topic, we're going to talk about how to secure your insecurities. Now, yesterday was Halloween, and a lot of people had costumes and masks on, having fun, being someone else, not really themselves for the day. But in actuality, every day we psychologically put on masks and costumes to hide who we really are. And these are typically what insecurities are, in a sense. We all have them, we all see them, and sometimes we're at the bad end of someone else's. We're going to talk about today how these can affect how we perform in life and how we can overcome these insecurities. So stay tuned and check it out. Someone can define insecurities as anxiety or worries about oneself or a lack of confidence. Now, we basically all suffer from this to some extent, some more than others. Some people wonder, are we born insecure or we develop it? More than likely we're not. It's not a genetic trait of insecurity. Environmental factors as well as cultural factors can influence how insecure someone can become. Now, you can be born with some personality traits that can predispose you to be more insecure than others, but at the end of the day, it's life experiences and other influences that cause insecurities. Famous psychologist Alfred Adler, he came up with the term inferiority complex. This basically means the belief, whether it's true or not, of someone being less superior than others. Now, how can insecurities hinder your performance in life? Well, basically, if you're too worried about things that may or may not be bothersome to other people, it may prevent you from going full out in your endeavors, not intend anything at all, or even cause other people in your circle to be affected by this, because a lot of times insecurities involve making yourself feel better and putting other people down, which doesn't make a lot of friends. So we're going to talk about how to handle these insecurities and identify different kinds.
You know the sky is blue, man.
Nope,
Come on, you know that it's blue.
not a chance.
How you really gonna question? Come on now, you know that it's blue.
Nah, it's red.
Man, what are you
Say it again. Insecure people always have to have the last word. No matter how invalid their argument is, how much little sense they make, they must keep going and going to prove you wrong, no matter how right you may be. Now, I think with a person who isn't insecure, they can easily be safe with their own intellect and go about their business and be done with it. But an insecure person has to make a point that they're right and be the last one hurt.
We award you the award of the greatest in the world, world's strongest men, and we thank you for your charity in feeding baby puppies. Thank you for your service.
Man, he got lucky. Probably cheated. Probably used performance-enhancing puppy feeding drugs. An insecure person has to belittle someone else's success. Basically, they're intimidated by the success of others. So they must find some reason why that person got to where they were. They'll say that they cheated, say that it was luck, it was just handed to them, they didn't have to work for it, just to validate the reason why they haven't gotten to where they are. Now, a person who's safe with themselves won't have to do this because they know they worked hard and they don't need to feel validated by someone else's failure or some divine intervention to get someone else greater. I was really craving a cigarette today real bad, but I haven't had one in 3 weeks, and I think I'm really gonna finally kick the habit, man, you know? You need to quit that quitting mess, because ain't no point to quit. So you need to quit it, you know what I mean? Something an insecure person might do is encourage you to quit. You may be on the way of changing something or achieving something great, and they see the hardships and they'll be like, you know what, you might as well stop it. There's no point. You're having these hardships and roadblocks, you're probably not gonna reach the goal. And many of them do this is because they see where you're gonna be and how it'll make them look once you get to where you're going. And this is not right, because a person who's really safe with themselves won't have to worry about the shadow of another person. They're just gonna do it because they know they need to accomplish the goal. You better not mess up. Better not burn it. I'm not eating it if you do. Shoot, forget that.
Dude, I'm making cereal.
Well, I hope the milk gets soggy. Pointing out all the ways that you can possibly fail. When there's a will, there's a way, right? But these people, they'll find a way to see what can go wrong, not what can go right. Any little detail that they can pick at, they'll say, you can fail at this. You might not be able to complete this if this happens. They're so pessimistic about the situation because deep down they don't want you to succeed because it makes them feel more better about what they're doing or not doing in this case.
we present to you this Bachelor of Science in Psychology.
Yeah, that's cool, but I remember one time he got time out for skipping the line in kindergarten, so, you know, ain't no big deal. Some people are so defined by their past mistakes that inevitably they're going to hold you to yours. Every time you try to do something, they're going to sit there and try to bring up something that happened before. They'll pretty much ignore any new success or movement forward in your life because of this. This way, they'll be able to feel good about themselves because they can always hold you to when you weren't at your best. Good game, man. Now, there's nothing worse than a sore loser. These bad losers, losing is the worst thing to them. Like, this is a death sentence. The thing they don't realize is there's nothing wrong with losing, but for them, it's the end of the world. They basically will find some unfair advantage, some excuse, some reason why they should have won and you should have lost to justify their losing and make them feel better and to make you feel worse for your success. Give me this. Okay, now, I'm the winner, they the losers, they played bad, I played good, they suck, I'm better than them, they'll never beat me, I'm always gonna win, I have never lost, I never do no wrong, I never miss. Anything else? Oh yes, and I'm the greatest. Okay, maybe there is something worse than a bad loser, and that's a bad winner. These people go around making you feel bad and let you know everything you've done wrong to lose. Even though they won, they don't do it gracefully. Outside of no friendly, playful stuff, they want to make it known that you need to feel bad about your loss. To go around telling others that you lost and how you went wrong and how they're better than you. So I guess a bad winner is way worse than a bad loser. Well, since we're talking about people feeling themselves, let's go into the next one of people who like to brag all the time. Now this is a touchy one because there's a difference between bragging and having confidence. Having confidence means being proud of your abilities. But bragging is purposely taking things that you feel are great about you, whether it's an event that happened to you or a prize you won or some success in your life, intentionally to make someone else feel bad. For example, if you're sitting there telling stories of how you went to Paris, how you have the best fashion around people you know might not have it, that's bragging and that's just not right. And usually it's to cover up for your own personal insecurities.
He cheated on me,
What? Oh, that's so messed up.
and he left me and our daughter on alone.
How could he?
And he didn't even clean the kitchen.
Okay,
Didn't say God bless you when I sneeze.
he's untight.
And even though you a good guy, you're gonna pay for what he did to me.
Wait, hold up now, what? Now on a romantic tip, insecure people will tend to use their past relationships and their exes to justify any behavior they might see in their current person. For example, any negative trait that they experienced or anything they went through will somehow be projected into their current relationships. Oh, my ex used to say that, or my ex used to do that, or that reminds me of something they did. A person who's happy in a relationship and gotten over that will easily see the ex trouble as learning experience. Someone who hasn't will keep bringing it up and it'll be negative and it's going to make it almost pretty much impossible for the new relationship to grow. Imagine it like this for an example. You go to a court and you try someone, the jury gets their verdict and they're found guilty of all charges. But then they walk out the courtroom and walk in some random person and then they say, time for sentencing. That's basically what you do when you bring your ex's problems to your current situation. And the last insecurity I'm talking about is when people seem to think that any and everything you say must be directed negatively towards them. Like you could be having a conversation with a completely different person across the room, and they may overhear something and seem to think it's all about them. Not because they're egotistical or narcissistic, but they want to pretty much bring to the light what they feel about themselves, but have you say it. And you may not have any inkling of that intention, but they'll somehow try to draw it and take every single thing you say as a direct shot at them. And they get very defensive when they do it.
Hey, you need some help there?
I don't need your help. What are you trying to say?
Well, it looks like you're having a little bit of trouble.
Oh, so you're trying to say I'm stupid?
No, not stupid, but people usually have trouble with these things.
Oh, so I'm just like everybody else then?
No, you're not like everybody else.
Oh, so I'm not like everybody else? I'm different?
No, you're not different. You're not every.
So I'm not like everybody else. I'm not different, but I'm stupid and I'm fat then. Now that we know about different types of insecurities, and there's many more, I could go on for days, but this is just a few. Let's talk about how we can overcome these insecurities so we can be at our best when we need to do what we need to do. So first, face your fears. Come to grips with them. See what it is that's deeply affecting you. Don't sweep it under the rug and be like, oh, it's nothing. Because odds are it is something, and it can come back to haunt you in the future. So address the issues, whatever it may be, and that way you can progress forward from it. Think about what's the worst could happen. Now, we don't mean just overbear with these thoughts now, but give thought to what could happen that's not in the best situations. That way you know, okay, if it doesn't go my way, I'm somewhat prepared for what could happen. That way, there's no surprises. Your word control can go down because you've given thought to the scenarios that could hinder your progress. Now, not only think about what's the worst can happen, try to think about what's the best that can happen. A lot of times we think about worst case scenario. Think for the worst, hope for the best. But sometimes we should think for the best too. Because that way we can be prepped to do what we need to do and have the good situation and scenarios play out too. So not just to think about what's the worst can happen, think about what's the best can happen also. Think about all the positive qualities you possess. It's easy to get fixated on the negative, but pay attention to what you're good at. What you have done that's positive in your life, that's bettered yourself and those around you. This will remind yourself that you are capable of much better things, and that yes, you do have flaws and things about you that aren't the best, but you can always think about what you can do and get better at things you can. And on that note, positive self-talk. Say things to yourself. We say between 800 and 1400 words to ourselves per minute. So it's very important that we say the things that are going to get us prepped for success and doing better for ourselves. So take that into account too. A very simple one is be around nurturing people that's going to uplift you. Yes, we're going to have some negative friends or negative family and people in our lives, but even a little bit of negativity can play a big toll on us. So try your best to be around those who are trying to do what you're trying to do, trying to get better at what you're trying to get better at. That way the negativity that you do face can be overcome by the good things around the people who will uplift you. Address the flaws that you can address. In other words, control what you control. Some things like how your voice sounds, you can't control that. You gotta just go with it. But some things you can control, like how much effort you give on a task or how hard you work on a certain attribute you want to get better at. You have control of those things. So pay attention to those because you'll find more success getting better at the things you have power over versus things that nothing you can do about. This last but definitely not least, stop comparing yourself to others. I cannot stress this one enough. I like to say that you should never compare your worst day to someone else's highlights. Basically that means you can't take what you see other people doing because you don't know what's happening behind the scenes. You don't know what hardships they're going through. You know what hardships you're going through, and it's easy to say, well, he or she did this and that, and it's great, but I'm only doing that. You don't know. You're only seeing their highlights because most people, whether it's real life or social media or whatever, are only going to put out the good stuff. So you cannot compare that. And even if they show the bad stuff, don't compare that because once again, control what you control, and that's what you do. So it's good to have some idea of what you're going against and have some comparison, but you should not hold yourself to someone else's standard until you get safe with your own. Now that concludes this week's episode of Performance Psych for Life. Thank you for tuning in. And remember, if you have a topic you want me to address, comment below, let me know so I can address it and let people out there who might have a similar problem or issues, and we can all help each other. And it's Nick D once again. I appreciate you tuning in. And remember, strong bodies, stronger minds. See you.